Hey guys, Restore Thrive. We're back again here today talking again about the hip. Now, we've spent a lot of time so far talking about mobility, how to really get that full hip range of motion, whether we're talking about getting this knee flexed up past the crease of the hip and keeping your back in good position, or being able to fully extend the hips when we get into this position and lean forward and let that leg get behind us. We're still neutral here because we have that full excursion through the front of the hip. So today we're going to take a little bit different angle here. We're going to talk about how to get strong through the front of the hip. A lot of people have gotten scared by this idea of tight hip flexors. And what we see is normally a tight hip flexor is a weak hip flexor. And so what we need to do if we're going to actually improve range of motion here is we need to get strong here, because as long as you're weak, your body is always going to respond to weakness by tightening up to try to shorten that range of motion. So as we work through these progressions here, make sure you take the time to feel like you get strong in each of these progressions before you move to the next one. We're going to show you 4 different ideas here in terms of how to progress strength through the front of your hip today. So let's start in the easiest position on your back here. So we're going to get on our back, knees bent, feet are fairly right underneath the knees. And what I want to focus on here with all these exercises is the front of the hip pulling with this iliopsoas complex, those 2 big muscles that cross over the abdominal wall. So as I pull, what I want to make sure of is that I feel this muscle in the front of my hip, that iliopsoas complex, getting tight, actually pushing into my finger as I start to lift my leg up. As I bring my leg up, my lower leg should be relaxed. Somebody should be able to come up here and just kind of shake your lower leg. It shouldn't be rigid. My leg shouldn't be up like this. That knee, ankle, and foot should be relaxed. And I should feel tension through the front of my hip. You're going to hold this for 5 seconds. Lower it back down slowly. Make sure you've still got that curve in your low back. Pull again. Get tight through the front of the hip. Pull up. Hold for about 5 seconds. And then repeat that for about 2 minutes on each side. You're going to feel fatigued when you do this at first. Once that is non-fatiguing, you're going to stand up. And we've got 2 wall variations for you. So the first wall variation we're going to do is with a little bit of support for your back. So we're going to get up against the wall, get engaged through our midsection, shift our weight to one side, and again, think about pulling from the front of the hip. So I want that front side of the hip to drag my leg up. My lower leg is relaxed. If I look down, my toes should be pointed down. My legs shouldn't be out here with my quad flex in here. My hamstrings really relaxed as I pull up here. So I should be able to just kind of shake in the back here. Hamstrings should be relaxed and I'm tight through the front of my hip. And I should be able to get up to about 90 degrees here, pulling with the front of my hip, holding for 5 seconds, and then coming back down. Same prescription there, 2 minutes per leg, 5-second holds each side. Then we're going to start to integrate into a functional pattern here. We're going to let you use your hamstrings a little bit, let you use your upper body to get engaged. This is what we call a wall march. We're going to stand away from the wall. Arms are going to come out in front of the body. Again, I'm engaged through my midline. I'm going to lean into the wall, get up on my heels, and then I'm going to pull my knee up again to that 90-degree position. I still want you to think about the front of the hip doing the work, but you're going to feel your hamstring engage a little bit as well, and that's fine because now we're trying to integrate into a functional pattern, not just isolate that weak muscle. So again, 2 minutes of 5-second holds for each leg. The last one we want to work on here is how do we get from 90 degrees to over 90 degrees in this position and hold this position with the strength of the front of our hip. And the easiest way to do this is with a chair. So you're going to grab a chair, you want your feet on the ground, and this is going to start you in 90 degrees. So this position we've already trained you to be strong in, and we're going to teach you how to go from 90 to end range here. So for me, because I'm a little bit taller and this chair is a little bit shorter, what I think about is, again, getting tight through the front of my hip, pulling my leg up so my heel leaves the ground first, and I feel all that muscle work done in the front of the hip here. What that's doing, again, is just training that end range. If I'm relaxed through my lower leg here, I'm relaxed through my hamstring. I can try to lift a little bit from here, but again, I should still feel this through the front of my hip, and that same prescription of 2 minutes of 5-second holds applies. So take your time going through this progression. Make sure that it feels like it's easy before you go to that next step. Click like below, subscribe if you like what we're doing here, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.